Today's episode, we're going to be talking about who would win if Miguel fought the young Daniel. I think this would be a very interesting fight, actually. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so if this is your first time to the channel, welcome. My name is Vinjin. It says on hat, it's not Virgin, it's Vinjin. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and why don't you just relax and enjoy yourself, because we're about to get started. We're about to talk about these imaginary fights, and one of these fights is today, and that fight is going to be between Miguel of the Cobra Kai versus Daniel of Miyagi Karate. I know it's so weird to do these things sometimes, because you really have to have a lot of imagination to even see things through, to actually have the imagination to just run with it. But you know, that's what we do. We just have fun on this channel. We just talk. It's nothing serious. It's just fun, and we'll never be able to really test these theories. It's just, you know, movie geek talk. So let's get right into it. Now, obviously, you know my position, and this is something that not a lot of people agree with me on, but I will say that Miyagi Karate is the better type of karate. Having said so, we do also see that Miguel definitely whoops Robbie's butt in the tournament in Cobra Kai, meaning a couple of things. First of all, Cobra Kai is not that bad. Second of all, Miguel kicks butt. So the big question is, you can sort of see when Robbie is fighting, considering that he's on team Daniel, that you sort of feel like he's fighting with the spirit of Daniel. But I've never felt that way, because Robbie, I've never liked him. I just, the hair thing, I just don't really like it. However, if you really think about it, he is the closest thing to what we can see in the tournament that resembles Daniel. It's the same type of karate, but he's not trained by Miyagi. I'm not saying that Daniel is a bad trainer. Maybe he just didn't have enough time, or maybe Robbie was just, you know, he wasn't focused because he was thinking a lot about his dad. But then again, you can also say the same thing for Miguel, that he was just driven by his anger and he just wanted to beat Robbie to prove something to Sam or himself. I don't know, you know, but everybody is driven by something. Motivation is a big part of something. But usually when we do these fantasy matchups, we sort of tend to think about, you know, just from a skillful standpoint, the mentality of a character. Are they equipped to fight someone? And the really freaky thing about Daniel is that he's beaten every opponent that he's fought. And you can say the same thing about Miguel, but if you compare these two characters and you sort of try to imagine what would happen if they would face each other, I personally think that it will be a really close fight, actually, because for some reason, Miguel kind of reminds me of Daniel. I don't know why. Maybe it's the hair or something. I think that was almost done intentionally. And if you look at the cafeteria scene where we first see, you know, Miguel really fighting it, you could kind of argue that Miguel was basically the more skillful fighter in the sense of like his mobility and his ability to jump and stuff. He was basically kind of like a Spider-Man or something. And Daniel was sort of on his feet all the time, but he was smart, man. Like, he was smart enough to defeat an entire gang of Cobra Kai. So, you know, we don't know how long Johnny's friends trained, but we do know that no matter what level they were at, Daniel took them out one by one. Now Robbie, we didn't exactly see him take him out all of them, but he did sort of do the same thing, sort of, and then he lost towards Miguel. Now, some people will look at this fight and say like, okay, Miguel was fighting for Johnny and Robbie was fighting for Daniel, and sort of you could see the fight between Johnny and Daniel. I don't really look at it that way. I sort of more see like I see them as two completely different characters. Now I've been sort of prolonging my theory here, who I think would win, but I'm sort of going on a bit of a gut feeling here. I honestly think that, no offense to Robbie, but I don't think he represented Miyagi very well. I think that Daniel would win hands down. There, I said it. Like, you don't have to agree with me. In fact, I want you to put in the comment section below if you do not agree with me. But it's a gut feeling, but I just think that Daniel would hand Miguel his butt. That's what I think. I get it, you know, a lot of people who are for Miguel, they think of the cafeteria scene, they see some of his chops, but that I think is more like, you know, when you compare the art of movie making and you compare the 80s with today's videos, I think you have a different skill level of demonstrating someone's karate skill on the big screen. And also, I think Miguel was a trained martial artist. I mean, the actor playing him, so maybe there is also that. But just comparing these two characters, I still think that Daniel has the mentality and the skill, and he was just a smarter fighter. Where sure, he did get governed by his fear in Karate Kid 3, but I still think that in this situation he would not be intimidated by Miguel, because Miguel wasn't really too much into intimidation, and that is, as far as I can tell, Daniel's only weakness. Fear of losing, fear of getting beaten, fear of the other opponent. That was his biggest enemy, and I just don't think he would have been scared of facing Miguel, even if Miguel was having his, "Oh, you took my girlfriend, you ugly mother beep" face. I don't think that face would do it to terrify Daniel. That's just my impression. Let me know in the comment section what you think, and let's talk about it. Okay, that was it for today. If this is your first time to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, notification bell, like button, and for the rest of you, thank you for joining me once again. Take care.